The central economic problem right now is that inflation is much too high, and that's bad in the sense that it distorts the economy and economic decisions. It's also making maybe even more prominently central banks raise rates aggressively into levels that we haven't seen in well over a decade, and that hurts the economy quite significantly as well. And so inflation matters a lot. I think the natural starting point is to ask, why is inflation so high? And the short answer is that it's no single thing. In fact, you'd struggle to find a single thing that could push inflation up to the 7 and 8 and 9 and 10% type levels. We think it's actually multiple forces that have been at work, including supply chain problems, a big commodity shock, too much stimulus from central banks, and perhaps too much stimulus from fiscal authorities as well. And the good news is, as we look at those four drivers, we have actually seen them all turn in an important way. And so supply chains are improving quite significantly, though they are still somewhat imperfect. Commodity prices have fallen fairly substantially, not low prices, but they have begun to fall, which is a reversal. Monetary stimulus has turned quite profoundly, and we think central banks are getting closer to the finish line, but they've moved well beyond stimulative mode into outright restrictive mode. And there is a subtle fiscal drag as well. And so, in turn, inflation is now starting to fall. We believe it peaked in around June in North America. It likely peaked in October in Europe and the UK. And as much as we expect a further decline, it's probably not going to be a rapid or smooth decline. There will be some choppiness, and we are still dealing with things like rapid wage growth and inflation that's just so broad that it takes longer to solve. But nevertheless, we think inflation can continue to fall, and actually we have a below consensus inflation forecast. We can see that businesses are changing their pricing behavior. We can see Chinese producer prices starting to fall. And so inflation likely can fall perhaps more than the market is currently assuming, and that's a fairly big deal. Inflation's been the biggest problem over the last year.